Good morning everybody, Mike here, and today is finally the big day. We're going to be installing the lift kit on the truck, and of course when we install the lift kit, that means we can also install these bad boys over here. But first, before we get to all that, I got a little video of when all this stuff first showed up. Let's go ahead and cut to that video right now. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys the shipment that I actually just got in this morning. Of course, this is the lift kit, and now I see why the shipping is like 150 bucks, and it's brought in by 18-wheeler on my little street here. But anyway, I was a little bit worried about how it would be packed and how it would be shipped and everything, but I'm really impressed with it. You can see, of course, it comes with its own skid. Everything's really well packaged here, and I don't even necessarily know what box is which at the moment, but you see it's nicely wrapped. All the boxes are in perfect shape. It's got a nice little band on it in here too, so really nice. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of take this apart, disassemble it, and stack the boxes up on top of each other. That way my girlfriend has enough room to still park in here. You can see this box is obviously taking up quite a bit of real estate. But anyway, this is what the lift kit looks like right now, and updates to follow. Alright, so I definitely wanted to include that video in case anyone was thinking of ordering this kit for themselves. Again, I was really impressed with how it all showed up and everything. They did a really good job. So anyway, let's go ahead, get all this stuff loaded up into the truck, including these things, which of course weigh about 120 pounds each. Should be fun, and then we'll take all the stuff over to the shop. So a quick little update here. Obviously, step number one is getting the truck up on the lift and taking out all the old pieces. You pretty much have to strip out everything. You can see the big pile of parts here on the ground, the entire brake assembly, control arm, lower control arm, the drive shaft itself, shock absorber, torsion bar, of course the wheels and tires. What else? A skid plate there, and just basically a whole bunch of stuff. So the front end, everything is taken apart. Now the back end has to go as well, but it's not quite as extensive back here because all you have to do is the block and U-bolt kit and the shock absorbers, and I think really that's about it. So the back isn't quite as difficult. You see the wheels and tires sitting over there, but this is the lift kit. So you can see this is all the parts laid out here, the lifted knuckles, the heavy duty upper control arms. Just take this over for a quick comparison. This is why I definitely wanted to do this and include this in the kit. As you can see there, obviously quite a big difference, and it looks a lot better too, so definitely wanted to include that in this. But the lifted knuckles, see this big cross member piece here, the torsion bar, relocation brackets, a skid plate, all kinds of other stuff, the block and U-bolt kit. I also got the little what are the shock absorber dust shields. I got those. Pretty much I got everything that you could get here, and then just the little box of lug nuts. So a lot of stuff, of course, and it's all going to go up in the truck here in a little bit. But this is what it looks like now with all the parts taken off, and I'll just show you guys right up front up here. These trucks do come with a stock steering stabilizer actually. The only thing left are the tie rods. I do have the tie rod sleeves, however, which are going to go on there. And the only other thing here is the brake calipers. That's really about it. So you can see it really takes a pretty large amount of work to get these things ready. But anyway, let's get to work. quick little update after a pizza break. Got a lot done on the truck so far. Still a little bit to go, but it's definitely coming along pretty well. You see we got the lower control arms in there already. The differential, of course, is now in there with the skid plate, all kinds of different stuff. Of course, both of these things. And what we were just doing there were these supports. I didn't even know that it came with this, but basically just a support, almost like, like traction bars for the rear, but in the front, so that if this kind of flexes backwards under acceleration or anything, it has a brace back here on the transmission cross member. And then back here, we're still working with the torsion bar relocation brackets, which that whole thing has to go back in, of course. Then these are the spacers for the CV axles. You got the upper control arms. The only thing, actually, if you look at these piles, that's going to be going back in the truck is, of course, the brakes and the aftermarket upper control arms and the steering knuckles. Everything else here is old and going away. So the old knuckles, the old upper control arms, this skid plate here we can't reuse. The old shock, that's all basically going in the garbage. This is, of course, the drive shaft for the front, the CVs here, torsion bar keys there. We just kind of painted this stuff up to make it look nice. But, it's coming along really well, and still got a little bit to go, as you can see. And then the rear hasn't even been touched yet, but this won't take long. Like we said, this is just the block and U-bolt kit, so shouldn't be very difficult. But anyway, making some good progress here, and we'll keep on at it. All right, so here it is, guys, the finished product. The truck is now lifted, and I can't believe how fucking awesome this truck looks. Honestly, the result is amazing. I can't believe how good it looks. And going down the road, just driving it for a little bit here, it rides way smoother than stock, and just the steering and everything, like, you would never know that this is a lifted truck on 35-inch mud tires when you're driving it. Just a phenomenal job. So I got to give a huge thank you to the guys at Performance Diesel Warehouse, where, of course, this lift was getting installed. Shane, the bigger guy who you saw there throughout the video, he is in a walking encyclopedia of truck knowledge. He really is. Like, he was laying underneath that Freightliner that was also in the shop at the same time, like 20 feet away, and he'll just see, like a little piece of metal wherever, and just be like, oh yeah, that's the part that we need, later on down the road. Just, he knows, somehow he knows that. He knows what every single part is. It's ridiculous how much he knows, and they do a fantastic job, just going above and beyond what you have to do. Even had the foresight to be like, hey, bring in a bunch of cans of paint when you bring the truck in to get lifted, so that we can paint all the pieces up here in the front and in the rear too, actually, while we have all the pieces off, while it's really easy to make it look nice and protect it. So just, really going above and beyond, going the extra mile to make this thing turn out good, and the end result is perfect. So of course I will put their information in the description below. If you are local, or even from a little bit farther away, definitely contact them if you need anything done to your truck, because it's definitely definitely worth it. It really is, because I was nervous. You know, this isn't just like a small little modification or something. This is a ton of work and making a huge change to your vehicle, so you want to make sure it's done right. And you know, what can I say, this thing is just awesome. So I'm going to drive it around for a few days here, and then I'll do a full walk around video of everything, just to kind of give my impressions after a few days here. But first impressions are, like I said, it's incredible. And the looks alone, I mean, I can barely contain myself. How good the damn thing looks. I mean, it's just perfect. Everything is, it's just so good. Like, I'm at a loss for words at how awesome it is. And if you look at the front end geometry here, like the axles have a good angle. Of course, they're turned right now, that's why they look like that. But you know, they're almost perfectly flat, but damn near about flat. You know, it's so good. I couldn't have asked for a better result. It's awesome. So anyway, like I said, definitely a ton more on this truck soon to come. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.